Hi there, this is Tony from pianotone.ca, and this is my review for the Jamzone Backing Tracks app. In early 2020, I was looking for apps that would provide some type of backing drums and maybe some backing bass type of thing that I could play along with on my digital piano. I came across Jamzone and was completely blown away with how amazing this app is. So I immediately got it, started using it and practicing with it, and haven't turned back since. So really love this app. So let's check out the review. So what is Jamzone? Jamzone is an app that provides really well done backing tracks for tons of songs, and they are constantly adding new ones. This app basically becomes a band that you can jam with, complete with all of the instruments and vocals, including backing vocals that are used in the song that you're working on. So it's not just canned drums, bass, and chords that follow your playing along like you're going to get on a keyboard that has arranger functions built in. You're actually getting a really good quality cover version of that song. And as you play along, Jamzone will display the chords and lyrics in real time, as well as where you are within the entire song. Now, I play mostly piano, and I use the app for that. Keep in mind, you can use this app with any instrument. So once you have a song loaded, you can choose what instruments and vocals, etc., to include or mute.
Oh, soy capitán, soy capitán, soy capitán. Bamba, bamba.
And you can adjust the relative volumes between those.
Bamba. Bamba, bamba. Para bailar la bamba.
And you can adjust the tempo up or down. And you can also adjust the key signature up or down as well. And you'll notice as I change that it's actually going to change the chords for me, which is really, really cool. Keep in mind that if you're using the included vocals in the track, that if you transpose it up a little bit too much, it might start to sound a little bit chipmunky, or down, it's going to be really, really bassy. You can also really easily loop certain sections. If I hit on that instrumental section that was the end of the solo, you can see how it started back over again. So I can keep on soloing if I want to over this, if I'm playing a guitar solo or something. I can do that as many times as I want. And then when I decide that I've soloed enough, then I can hit that button again. And then this time, once I get to the end of that instrumental section, it's just going to carry on with the rest of the song. So that's super cool, especially if you're using Jamzone in a live setting. Okay, so what platforms are available? Well, at the time of making this video, Jamzone is available for Mac, iOS, and Android devices. Please note that I'm reviewing the iOS version on my iPad. So how do you get started? Well, once you've downloaded and installed Jamzone and created an account, then you can get started with it. When you open the app, you'll be on the Explore page where you can browse or search for songs. Now, the way that Jamzone works is you don't need to pay anything to get the app, and there are tons of free songs available in it, but you do have to pay for any song that is not in the free section. Now, with a new subscription, you do get one free song included, so think about a song you'd really like to be able to practice along with, and then that way you can test out Jamzone in depth before you pay anything. Now, if you click on See All Free in the top right-hand corner, these are all the free tracks that are included with Jamzone. So there's tons of stuff in here, and you can also filter by instrument, so just guitar or something, or accordion. See what they've got for accordion. You can also filter by different genres, difficulty, and languages. Now, if you want to get backing tracks for other songs, then which you're probably going to want to do, then you can click on My Profile, and it works on a credit basis. You basically buy credits and you exchange them for songs. So that's the pricing as of the time that I made this video. And as you would expect, the more credits you buy at once, the cheaper it is. When I signed up to Jamzone, I played around with some of their free songs, like House of the Rising Sun, La Bamba, and some of the generic blues tracks. And I used my free credit to download a song I was in the middle of learning. Once I'd spent some time with Jamzone and saw how amazing it is, I bought a 10-pack of credits for the songs I really wanted to use it with, and that got me started. At first I thought this is going to cost me a fortune, but then when I thought about how you can pay the same amount just for a piece of sheet music, this is actually a phenomenal deal. And it saves me tons of time trying to create my own backing tracks using something like GarageBand, manually building my own drums, bass, etc. You just need to pick and choose your purchases carefully so that you don't get carried away. Okay, so back at the Explore section, in addition to the free songs, you can browse the library by different categories, like these playlists. For example, if I go to Hello England, then you're going to get a bunch of English bands, the Rolling Stones, the Police, John Lennon, the Kinks, etc. And you can also, these are just basically playlists by some type of topic. They've also got a popular section and then a new section for new releases. Most likely what you're going to want to do is just hit search and then search for a track that you're looking for. So if I'm looking for Piano Man by Billy Joel, then it comes up. Now if I choose that, it's actually going to download just a snippet of it so that I can hear it first, which gives me a chance to hear it before I decide whether or not I want to buy it.
John at the bar is a friend of mine. He gets me my drinks for free. And
then I can choose to download the full song if I want to. Now, as you accumulate songs in your library, if I go up here to My Tracks, these are all the tracks that I've got. You can build a set list. So for example, I just added 2 of my songs into this set list. And then once I start playing them, you're going to get some extra navigation here where you can go back and forth between the songs that are in your set list. So that's once again super handy if you're using this in a live gigging situation. So using headphones or connecting your instrument to Jamzone. Jamzone allows you to connect your instrument to the actual mix in the app. So if you're using Jamzone with speakers and just listening to your instrument however you normally do, then you don't really need to bother with doing this. But what if you want to use headphones? Well, there's 3 options to use Jamzone with headphones. The first one is, if your instrument has an audio in jack, like a lot of keyboards and digital pianos do, then super easy. You just connect your device to your digital piano and use the headphone port on your piano or keyboard. And then you can hear both sounds as you play along. The next option would be to use some sort of a mixing device that has multiple inputs, so like a normal USB mixer or an audio interface. A lot of headphones and speakers now actually have multiple inputs, so you could have your instrument plugged into one and your device plugged into the other, and then listen to them both at the same time. Now Jamzone does offer another option, which is how to actually connect your instrument to the actual Jamzone mix using a Midi connection to your device coupled with inter-app audio. So to do this, you would connect your instrument to your device with MIDI. So MIDI compatible keyboards and instruments you can probably plug directly into your device. Acoustic instruments like guitars, you'll need to go through an audio interface first, for example, an iRig 2 for guitar. Then you would need to install an inter-app audio app for your instrument. So if you just Google inter-app audio guitar, etc., then you'll find a whole bunch of options and you can check them out. This is basically an app that is going to read your MIDI signal from your instrument and then generate sounds for it that Jamzone can hear. So common examples are Amplitude for guitar or bass. I actually downloaded a couple for my keyboard. One of them is iFillacorda. This is basically a 60s organ MIDI controller that will allow me to connect my keyboard to my tablet, and then this app is going to generate inter-app audio sounds within Jamzone. So if I go into Jamzone and I click in the bottom right-hand corner, Your Instrument, you can see it's going to ask me to choose some inter-app audio sources. Then I can choose that iFillacorda app that I have, and then that's going to allow me to hear my piano using the sounds coming from that iFillacorda app. And then I can jam along in Jamzone to hear everything mixed together, and I'll be able to adjust the volume of my track as well, the same as I do with the other ones. So I've included the basics so far, but the next little video section is going to give you a really good overview of navigating in the app, downloading a free song, and playing along with it while modifying the mix. In this example, I'll use House of the Rising Sun, and I'll use that inter-app audio 60s organ app that I found called iFillacorda. And let's check out how that works. Okay, so a quick video on how to download one of the free songs from Jamzone, set the different levels and so you can play along with it. I'm also going to demonstrate how you can connect your instrument directly into the Jamzone mix using an inter-app audio app. So let's grab House of the Rising Sun. It's one of their free songs. Let's just have a quick listen to this.
There is a house in New Orleans they call the rising sun.
Now you might notice this guide melody track that's muted. That's basically a guitar that's playing the melody, so I guess that's if you wanted to disable the lead vocal but have a little bit of help in finding the melody. Now, I don't know if that's in all of the tracks on Jamzone or not. I've noticed it in some of them. I'm going to turn that back off again and turn the lead vocal back on. Now you can, depending on what instrument you're playing along with, you can mute whichever one of these tracks that you want. I'm going to mute the organ because I'm going to be playing an organ. You can also just set the levels a little bit if you need to adjust them to however you like. So now to connect my piano, I'm going to hit your instrument in the bottom right there. Now these are all the different Interapp audio apps that I have on my tablet. So I'm going to choose Finger Labs iFilaccorda, which is a 60s organ app that I downloaded. So now that's hooked up. So now I'm going to send the song back to the start and take a crack at playing along. So that's really quiet. So, and this is already maxed, so I could adjust the levels within Jamzone if I wanted, but I can also actually go and run my iFilaccorda app, and I can adjust the volume within the app, and then that's going to take effect in Jamzone. Send this back to the start and give this another try. So that's pretty much all there is to it. It's a pretty cool app, so highly recommend giving it a try. So what's the verdict on Jamzone? Well, I play modern songs on the piano, and I learned how to play with a chord-based approach. I've actually got some links below to a couple of the online courses I took that are really good. So this app is fantastic for me. I almost always play along with some type of backing beat when I'm practicing. Even when I'm just playing scales, I'll be playing along with drums. It's just way more engaging than a metronome is. And at the time of this review, my piano was a Yamaha P125. It actually has some pretty good built-in drums and backing bass. So I use that for 90% of the practicing and playing that I do. But when I come across a song I want to play, cover, record, whatever, that has something distinct about it, some really hard vocals that are out of my reach, or some unusual drums or time changes, or some signature guitar riffs, that type of thing, then I'll immediately go to Jamzone and download the track for that, and then that way I've got a really good version to practice along with. Before I found Jamzone, and before I had my P125 with decent rhythms for most songs, I spent a lot of time looking into different ways to get some decent backing tracks, as opposed to having to create them myself. I did end up spending a fair bit of time in programs like GarageBand creating my own backing tracks. So basically trying to recreate the drums for a song from scratch and then add in some bass type of thing so that I had something to play along with. That's really cool, and some people like doing that, but it is pretty time consuming. I even tried an old drum machine and even a drumming foot pedal. It's basically a drum machine that's activated by a pedal. And those are traded back into the music store a long time ago. So Jamzone has turned out to be a perfect solution for me. It's super quick. You just download the song that you want and you're off to the races practicing and playing, instead of, at least for me, wasting a bunch of time trying to create my own drumming track that isn't going to be as good as what I get from Jamzone anyways. When you first look at some of the pricing, it might seem like if I start buying all my songs up, it's going to cost me a bunch, but if you be a little picky and choosy, it's not really that big of a deal, and it's not that expensive. You can pay the same amount that you're paying in Jamzone for one song for some sheet music. So in that regard, it really isn't expensive at all. When I first got Jamzone, I actually downloaded House of the Rising Sun to test it out, and La Bamba to test it out. And then I ended up using a lot of the free tracks quite a bit, and still use them to practice soloing in over blues progressions. There's free tracks for blues in C, blues in E, that type of thing. I use that a lot, actually, to still to practice along with. So overall, I can't say enough good things about Jamzone. It's a super useful app for practicing and for learning songs, and as a source for really good, high-quality backing tracks that you can use just to play with or to help you in your recordings. Given that you can pick and choose what you pay for and that the tracks really don't cost that much, I think it's a great value, and I can't recommend it enough. And since you don't have to pay anything up front and you get one free track of your choice, as well as access to the full library of free tracks, you might as well go download it, give it a try, and see what you think. So to get the app, just go to jamzone.com. I've got a link below as well, and go check it out, or just search for it in your app store for whatever device you've got. So thanks a bunch, and happy playing. Have an awesome day.